When did we lose it? Are we starting over?
Hello, everybody, and welcome back into another edition of This Versus That. I think we're having a little bit of technical difficulty, so we'll start you from the top. This is the Christmas week. This is what we did. We broke down some music. We're going to get into what it was like, what happened, what it's like now. This is your host, Michael Leopold.
Hey there, Bill. Merry Christmas to you. And that is my co-host, Bill Forness.
All right, man. All right. Hey, we had a good week, like we talked about. There was a lot to choose from. This could have went on all month long, but hey, we got some solid ones in there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. I love Christmas. And I like
Right.
Christmas music. And I'm looking
I
forward
do
to
too.
talking through the matchups.
I do too. I hope to do a full on Christmas album night produced someday. I have an EP, but I don't have anything really nice. All right. Hey, enough about me. Let's talk about Monday's matchup was Jingle Bell Rock, the Bobby Helms version, and Rockin' Around the Clock, Brenda Lee's version.
Not
I'll go
rocking
ahead.
around the clock, rocking around the Christmas tree, right?
Rocking around. Oh, that's a totally rocking
Yeah.
around the Christmas tree. And guess what? It smoked it. Rocking around the Christmas tree, 16 to Jingle Bell Rocks 3. What's your take on this?
Well, I'm with the public on this one, man. Brenda Lee is so smooth in this song, and the music. I mean, it sounds like it's straight up from Bill Haley and the Comets. So I get why you said "Rocking Around the Clock" because it definitely has that vibe. And Jingle Bell Rock for me is a little more kitschy, not as cool, not as hip. And Brenda Lee gives it a little sexy swagger. She just had a style that just brings out that the magic of that song for me. I like hearing that one. Sometimes I hear Jingle Bell Rock, and it doesn't matter if it's Helms's version or if it's Daryl Hall and John Oates' version. I'm not feeling it most of the time. I got to tell you. So, how about you? Where are you sitting on that one?
Well, I love Jingle Bell Rock, but I recorded it once before with a upright bass and electric guitar, and we did a cool sort of jazzy version of it. And I've just always been a fan. I like the modulations of where it goes, but just the construct of how it was written for me is it. I like rocking around the Christmas tree, but for me, I'm going with the underdog here. I
All
gotta
right.
I gotta go with Jingle Bell
I
Rock.
think I, I
Give it
think
to me.
it needs your help. It needs
Give it
your
to me.
help in the corner.
Give me more. We lose. We, we lose bad. And
No, the great thing is you never lose. I mean, in this versus
oh,
that, it's more about what does it make you think of? I mean, without a doubt, Jingle Bell Rock was one of the cooler hip songs when I was a kid. When you're listening to the classics, the White Christmases and the Silent Nights and the Hark the Heralds. You got the hymn style. Very about the Christian side of Christmas, not the commercial side of Christmas. It brought a little rock and roll to Christmas music, and so for that, I love both these songs. But out of the two, for me, Brenda Lee is just too cool for words for me. She just has a little something that strikes me just right.
I like them both. I don't see where anyone said anything. They just sort of like made their picks. Did you see anything where anyone said anything definitive about this?
Not really. I don't know. To tell you the truth, I did not. I'm
I
I'm
didn't either.
pulling up my page, but I think it was pretty much just black and white, you know.
Yeah, that's all right. That's fine. Fine and dandy. We can move on to the next one. You want me to call it?
Sure.
Your favorite.
Mhm.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Gene Autry's version, and Frosty the Snowman, Jimmy Durant. Oh, let's just talk about another straight up butt kicking here. 31 for Rudolph and 9 for Frosty the Snowman.
Well,
Oh boy.
so
What do you got?
Jimmy Durani's version from the cartoon version of Frosty the Snowman, you know, it definitely is memorable. There's no doubt about it. I mean, nobody sounded like Jimmy Durante. I mean, that guy was had a certain sound, and a look too.
Yep.
Um, but you know, just on the song front, and I know I liked how you teased me at the beginning. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer might be my least favorite Christmas song. Now, I love the story of Rudolph. I love the little puppet
Yeah,
show
about
with the
the
with
cartoon.
Yukon Cornelius and the Bumble. Give me that all day long. But the song, the second I hear Gene Autry pull up and sing that, I turn the station. I find any other Christmas song, or I go to NPR. I can't listen to it. I don't know why. It just is not there for me. But Frosty, I love the magic. I love the magic of this snowman coming to life and leading these kids on a romp through the city, ignoring the cops, having a party, stirring everything up, and then just hitting the road. I'm going to melt away. So let's live now, baby. It kind of has like a Sinatra vibe. That's what I'm thinking. And the Ella Fitzgerald version, I think I posted that up there. Her version is swing, 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 baby. So get on board. Let's get a broomstick and go into town.
Let's go. See, so here and all right. So here's a couple of comments, and it's like Matt Reedy said Rudolph, not even close. So then you got Pam Hansen said, no, what a decision, Rudolph by 60 seconds.
What about Dave Berliner? He says he goes, Rudolph, Frosty's runaway kids on a freezing train never sat well with me. I think he was taking the song or the cartoon a little too literally, but hey, I hear you, Berliner. I hear you.
Yeah. I loved both these cartoons. I mean, especially, as a kid and getting excited for television when we were growing up.
Oh.
This was the big deal. This was coming on. How many channels did we have to choose from, brother?
No,
5?
right. If you missed it, it was only on the once.
That's it.
That was it.
Boom. Done. So, did you ever miss it?
Hell yeah. I mean, I played a lot of I played a lot of sports and practice basketball after, and sometimes I'd miss that show. But
oh my God.
But I tell you what, that Abominable Snowman, when I was little, scared the daylights out of me. Scared the daylights out of me.
Me too.
So Adam Hackworth says he goes exactly the opposite of Dave Berliner, and he says, Frosty, Rudolph shows us the rest of Santa's reindeer were prejudiced turds. Frosty just had a magic hat powered by the magic of Satan. I love it. I love it.
Great, man.
So funny.
I mean, funny. And Herbie wants to be a dentist.
He did.
Yeah.
He did.
So I love the story of Rudolph. Absolutely love it. I'm with you on that because, I mean, come on, man. He's picked on. Come on, your poor nose here.
Then he shows him, hey, those other reindeer were kind of a-holes, I mean, they were not nice. A little prejudiced, if I do say so.
Red nose. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Right.
And then he becomes, the big deal. He saves the day. And that song is, tells the story really, really well. And I think that a lot of people identify with that, especially kids going, I'm picked on and Santa's going to the teacher's going to make me save the day. I mean, I can remember sort of all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, Rudy was definitely the hero. I mean, there's no doubt about it. He's the
Yeah.
underdog and he ends up the hero. Everybody wants to be his friend in the end. And that's a great redemption story, right? Great redemption story. Everybody loves that around Christmas time. Now, I will say this, there is a version of Rudolph that I do like, that I found, I will say even a slightly more than tolerable, and it's Dean Martin's version. Dean Martin can take a song like that and make me like it. I love Dean.
He was great. He was great at doing Christmas songs in general. Let It
Yes, he
Snow
was.
is one of my very favorite songs. One of my very favorite Christmas songs, and it's the way he did it.
Yeah,
Absolutely love it. That guy is the king of cool, and he absolutely killed it on. And you know, that's one of the things too. And I know we're out of time on this one, but not everyone should sing Christmas songs.
That's right.
And everybody does. And it's like, you know what? You might be a great vocalist. That doesn't mean that you need to jump into Christmas songs. I'm gonna go with you. I'm gonna go with you with Frosty though. I'm going with you on it because I like that whole vibe, and even though it ends kind of sad, that's life.
That's like, and you know what? He's going to be back someday. The next time it snows, we get that top hat going.
It's all like right, brother. I know we got to move on.
Yeah, we got to move. That was fun. That was fun. I enjoyed that.
All right.
So we got Paul McCartney.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, we got Paul McCartney and his wife Linda on Wonderful Christmas Time, and then we've got Wham, George Michael and his buddy Andy doing Last Christmas. Now, the cool thing, now we have 11-7 Last Christmas wins over Wonderful Christmas Time. This is a tight one. You know, this is pretty close. The thing I liked about these two choices were when I was a teenager in high school, I think both these songs came out. Maybe Wonderful Christmas Time came out when I was in junior high. But in high school, the Wham song came out. And it was the kind of that introduction. We got a new song, you know, that's never been written before or sung before. It's a whole new song that these both become somewhat of Christmas standards and classics, at least from my kids' perspective. And these were new, made by modern artists that I could relate to, you know, that weren't my parents' artists. It wasn't Bing Crosby. It wasn't Johnny Mathis. It wasn't Andy Williams. And I love those dudes. But it was in the modern kind of vibe, and I dug that. The only thing I find laughable is Wonderful Christmas Time. How many lyrics are in that song? I mean, there might be 4 lines total. And it's so repetitive. It's so repetitive, but it still makes me think of Christmas when I hear it. But I'm going last Christmas. I love that heartbreak and that kind of going, hey, you fooled me once, but you're not going to fool me again. You know, I know what you're about, right, honey or buddy, whatever. If you're a girl or you're a guy or whatever, you know that guy screwed you over last Christmas. You're not letting it happen this Christmas.
Right. I totally I like what you said about that. It's ours. It's our era. I mean, right, long after we're gone and folks are listening to this, it's ours. It's we get to own some of this stuff a little bit anyway.
Well, look at how many. I'm sorry. No, look how many people have covered Last Christmas. I mean,
I know. I just heard one today, and I didn't know who it was singing it. It was a female, a newer artist. I didn't know who it was.
Well, I know Taylor Swift does it. Gwen Stefani did it. Michael Bublé's done it. You know what I mean? And so that tells me it's a classic. It's a standard. You know, and that came out when you and I were kids, and that's pretty cool.
Yep.
Tell me how you feel about the Paul McCartney song. I mean, it makes me think of Christmas, but holy cow, there's nothing there.
Let me say what I really think about what Paul McCartney did there, and I could be totally off my rocker, but I think he says, well, I can write a Christmas song that'll be a hit, and it'll be the most melodic song of all time. And I mean, it's so straight. The thing it doesn't even sound like music necessarily when you first hear it. That what is that noise? Boink 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 boink. It sounds ridiculous. It's like what is
Oh, that's awesome.
and then it's just him going, here we
Simply
are.
heaven.
Blah, blah, blah. It's almost as if he did it intentionally to go, look how ridiculous I can do this, and I'll make it a hit because of who I am.
No, somebody said
Because if anybody else does it, it ain't happening, man.
I think somebody posted, I think Greg Fugate posted, and I don't have it in front of me, but I think he posted something about he gets $500,000 a year royalty on that song.
He needs, I hope he's giving that to charity. I really do. Lowell Hardin said another tough
bank.
Lowell Hardin said another tough one, but gotta go with Last Christmas. That's my jam.
That's
and
my
then
jam.
Eric Rushing said, honestly, can't stand either one of them. I'm kind of with you on both, but at the same time, I gotta give our generation credit for something. If you want to give it to that, there's a couple of them. So, all right, I see we're out of time.
My rats.
So next up, two very, very, very classics. Silent Night, Little Drummer Boy.
Yeah, what we get on a count on this one? This was pretty close.
10 for Drummer Boy, 6 for Silent Night.
All right. And I think Silent Night might be the quintessential Christmas song, or I don't know if it is a hymn for sure. But it's the one that captures the essence and the solemnity of Christmas Eve and the evening. You know what I mean? There's just there's some real powerful images, I think, from that song. But I think Little Drummer Boy combined with the story and there's there's something very innocent about that one, but it tells a great story, and it's the similar story. Who is this drummer boy? Was he there at the birth? And there's the not the cartoon, but the stop action puppet thing, just like the Rudolph version of Little Drummer Boy. So I think that one in my heart, I think I like that song, or the images that conjures up for me as a child more than anything. And so I got to go Little Drummer Boy. But there is an artist that did that song. You remember how you said some artists just shouldn't do Christmas music?
Yep.
Bob Seger covered Little Drummer Boy on that Now This Is Christmas, the very first kind of compilation of kind of rock artists. I think U2 was on it, and Annie Lennox singing Winter Wonderland, and the Pretenders singing Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. And and it was like the first kind of, hey, here's a whole bunch of modern rock kind of Christmas songs. And I bought that thing and loved it. But that Bob Seger, I fast forwarded every time on my CD when he came singing Drummer Boy. I'd rather listen to Bon Jovi sing Run, Run, Rudolph than Bob Seger sing Little Drummer Boy. It just didn't sit well with me. I'm like, what the hell is that?
And you saying that I can't hear Bon Jovi singing Christmas songs. It just doesn't seem right. Like, yeah.
Right. Some of it seems forced, right? Like,
oh, yeah. Yeah. So
what do you like? What do you got here?
I got the Drummer Boy. I mean, I love them both. I really, really do. And I really hope to do Johnny Cash's version of Drummer Boy.
That could be.
Man, he did it. He did it really cool. And I think the first time he did it was live on the Johnny Cash Christmas special on ABC in like 1970. And how cool that would be to be able to redo that. So I really like that. But I also Sinead O'Connor's Silent.
I love her voice.
That up, man. You're gonna dig that. It's haunting. It's nice.
Well, yeah, she is. That's a great word. That's exactly how I used to describe her voice, as haunting. And Real quick, a couple of quotes. A lot of people like that mashup. Maria Craig Stanley said, "Little Drummer Boy," and if you want to throw a little mashup piece on Earth, that's even better. The Bing Crosby, David Bowie, version that he sings. Yeah, that
cool
is a great version. I remember seeing that on TV. I remember that special. And I mean, Bing Crosby and David Bowie, you want to talk about two polar opposite type of ends of the spectrum. One is just buttoned up V-neck sweaters, and the other is Ziggy Stardust, for goodness sake. And throwing those two together to sing a Christmas song. But I mean, their voices complemented each other about as well as you could have ever even. I don't know that anybody could have guessed it would go that well, that show would record what is now a classic Christmas song.
Yeah, it's neat. I just watched that this week too. That was really neat how they interacted with one another. Very respectful and
Yeah.
tasteful. It was nice.
Yeah, it was.
Nice
It was
to see.
very. That's a good way to say it. Tasteful and respectful. That was it. Somebody said, Dan Alsop said, "I'm going with Drummer Boy. Both great tunes, but I just love it." He said, "Puts me in the Christmas mood every time."
Yeah, yeah. Gina Hart said, "Drummer Boy, something so moving about that song, all inspiring to me, pretty much all versions." I mean, it is a great story. Everyone has something to give.
Yeah, that's right.
Something they can give.
Yeah, that's right.
Doesn't have to be, doesn't.
We don't have all the same talents. We don't have all the same wealth. We don't have all the same. But we start out equal, right? And we've all been given gifts, and there's something to share, right? And the God I believe in wants us to use those gifts that He's given us to give to others, to glorify, etc. So that's a good call, Bill. I like the way you said that.
All right. All right. We moving on? It looks like we're
moving on. I think
all right.
Producer Ryan is giving us a kick in the butt here.
I think he is. Is this the last one here?
Yeah, this is the last one.
Last one. Okay. All right. And I guess this one is also from our generation. So Mariah Carey's "All I Want for Christmas Is You," and then
Santa Baby,
the kid, Santa Baby, the sensual Santa Baby.
Right. Yeah. Well, she was the OG. 4. She's the OG, right? And this matchup kind of caught me off guard, and I got to give you credit because I wouldn't have necessarily thought to pair these two songs against each other, but I kind of like it because I think at the time that Eartha Kitt song came out, it was probably kind of one of the hep songs. Hadn't been, it was new. It was not a traditional classic. It was a little sexy. It was a little, and Mariah, how many years later, comes out with a new song? I mean, when Mariah came out with that song, Last Christmas by Wham may have been the most recent kind of new Christmas song that actually captured people's hearts and imaginations and kind of had some staying power. And so All I Want for Christmas comes out. I really thought that this was going to go the other way. I thought Mariah Carey would blow it out of the water because such a popular song, and it's played everywhere all the time. I mean, that's
the reason why it isn't.
Right. No, right. I think people are kind of over it. I mean, it's still a great song and I still like hearing it, but I also don't pay attention nearly as much. Like I can kind of ignore it. You know what I mean? It's just background now, not front and center for me, where Santa Baby gets my attention, and I even like the Madonna version. I think she does a really good version as well. And Eartha Kitt, I mean, come on. She's on, she's sex on wheels, I mean, she just is the godmother of that vibe, she just had that sex appeal and that sensuality and that just vibe that made that song, I think, what it is today.
So who do you got?
I'm going Eartha for sure. I mean, I just find that vibe from her specifically. Maybe song, if I'm just voting on the song, maybe All I Want for Christmas is kind of a better song because the Santa Baby's kind of kitschy novelty,
Right. Yeah, it doesn't say Christmas to me. for some reason. But I like it for its content. I like it for its uniqueness. But like you say, it doesn't say Christmas to me. I don't know that Mariah Carey's song says Christmas to me either, except that, like you say, I mean, you're going to hear it 50 times in the month of December. It's going to happen. So,
Right.
but I guess just for, I mean, I like her voice better, but just to give our generation another bit of a nod, I guess I'll give it to Mariah Carey slightly, but I don't know that I really care all that much about. I'm not going to reach for, if I need the Christmas vibe and it's Christmas Eve, I ain't reaching for these two. I'm not doing it.
No. Well, and as we come near the end of our first season and our last episode of season one, I would say, and I'm looking forward to next Christmas because there's two songs and we talked about it before the show today. White Christmas and the Christmas song. I probably those two have been recorded by more artists than any other song. And I know that there's camps of people that are going to say nobody sings the Christmas song better than Nat King Cole. And I'll argue Johnny Mathis and Andy Williams will give him a run for the money. And I love Andy Williams's whole 60s vibe, that kind of campy, kitschy, almost I don't know. You know what I mean? Like that Henry Mancini band kind of vibe, that Breakfast at Tiffany's kind of swagger and stuff with some jazz flute and some, it just had that hip.
I really liked, that Harry Connick Jr. tune that must have been Santa Claus. It's kind of got that New Orleans vibe in 1993 that he put out.
Yeah.
Like, also our generation, but that's got a totally different, that New Orleans sort of jazz on top of the beat sort of thing.
Totally.
Like, some of that stuff is really cool. It'd be great to deep dive into some of that stuff a little later. That maybe next.
And I think you're right. Harry Connick Jr., when he's really good at Christmas, it's when he's bringing that New Orleans vibe into his songs. Those are the stuff that by him that I just think is so electric and so good and makes it his own. You know what I mean? It even if it's a classic, when he does it with a little New Orleans twist, that's when it catches fire for me. He brings his personality into it.
And Michael, out of these 10 songs, though, which one does it for you out of these 10? Who wins the week overall?
Yeah. I hear you. I am going to have to say, wow, out of these songs, I'm going to say Brenda Lee, Rocking Around the Christmas Tree.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? And I'm going Jingle Bell Rock. So at the beginning of the week and those two matchups. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I go. That's what I go to. I go to Jingle Bell Rock. That would be one of my first ones in my Christmas list on Christmas Eve. But Rocking Around the Christmas Tree is going to be in there too.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, well, you know what my favorite modern Christmas song is, and I'll tell you what my favorite classic is. My favorite modern is The Waitresses' Christmas Wrapping. That is my favorite Christmas song, modern day-ish music. And then,
sure.
oh man, you got it. I think you've heard it. You just didn't know. You just don't know who it is.
Didn't know who it was.
Yeah, but and then my other favorite classic Christmas, traditional Christmas, is "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas" by Ella Fitzgerald. That is her version of that is just got that great swing, and I really love the old lo-fi Glenn Miller, Glenn Miller band stuff, and the Andrews sisters.
I'll tell you, I got 3. James Brown, Santa Goes Straight to the Ghetto. But that's awesome. James Brown doing Christmas. And Joni Mitchell did sort of a sad which she's so good at, called River. Have you heard this? What a cool sort of like somber Christmas number. And then Johnny Cash and June Carter, Christmas time's a coming. That's one of my favorites.
Right
Man,
on.
this has been a great season.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. You know, we're finding our legs. I think we've got some good ideas that we've learned from this season, and season 2 is going to be off the hook. I'm just really excited about how we're laying that thing out. I'm excited to share it with people. And, you know, guys, keep your eyes out for us about mid-January, the week of the 17th, I believe. Starting January 17th, we'll start putting the matchups back up, and we're going to let you in a little bit before that what the theme for that whole season is going to be.
Yeah, yeah. Make sure you subscribe to YouTube and these channels. We really want to get interactive on this next season, and I don't know how many episodes. I think we did like 9 episodes on
Yeah.
this. We're going to be like 10 episodes or something like that.
I was thinking, yeah, I think we can figure that out, but 12 at the max, you know, somewhere 10 to 12.
10 to 12. Yep, we'll theme the whole season, and man, it's going to be really exciting, and hopefully we'll bring everybody in on this thing and enjoy it. We've been learning along the way.
Yeah, and we're gonna bring in some guests next season too. So some folks to come in and talk with us who are in the biz and do this for a living. And we're gonna be excited to introduce you to them. And that reminds me, last night I went for the very first time to see El Monstero at the pageant.
Your first time?
Oh my!
How can you be from St. Louis and that's
dude? Well, and the bass player was in my class in high school. Kevin Gagnapane, man, and God bless him. He hooked us up. He made sure my wife and I had seats in center. We were right in the center stage or center balcony. So we had a view of all the spectacle that show is. And it's a show. It is not just the music. It's an immersive experience that takes you on a journey. It was visually scrumptious. It was unbelievable. So we're going to get Kevin on here
every year. That's what's great. Him as a producer, he changes it up every year, so it's not the same look.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've probably been to 5 of them or so.
Oh man, fantastic! I mean, if you like Pink Floyd at all, even just a little bit, go. First of all, they are bang on, almost perfect with their playing and their sound. But then everything else just takes it to the next level. Their commitment to the show and their love of the audience and the interaction was a thing of beauty.
Yeah, maybe we can get Kevin Gagnapane on here. I'd love to get some of those cats on here, and
yeah, I think our theme's going to line up nicely for Kevin next season. So that's going to be good.
I think it is too.
Hey,
man,
Phil,